So I've clicked record. We should be moving pretty soon here. And we're ready. We're recording.
Great, fantastic. Well, thank you, Danielle, and thank you everyone for joining today. My name is Justin Schaefer, and I'm the Associate Dean of North American Enrollment and Study Abroad at the American College of Greece in Athens. I know we don't have a lot of time today, so I'm going to try to move through a presentation on general information about our program relatively quickly, and then hopefully we'll leave some space at the end for a Q&A. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I always like to start just by introducing ourselves, introducing our program, who we are, and what you can expect from a study abroad semester with us at ACG. For UW-Stout students, I think it's important to note that we are an exchange partner. So we do send ACG students to Stout to study abroad. You also send your students to us to study abroad. So we work together very, very closely, our two institutions, our two offices. So the process is relatively seamless. And I want to jump into why students choose ACG. I know that you guys have a lot of choice in where you're going to study. So why Greece? Why ACG? I know I'm a bit biased, but I really, truly believe that Greece is a wonderful destination for study abroad that's oftentimes overlooked by students. So I've put a whole host of reasons here why students choose ACG, why students choose Greece. But in my experience, it really boils down to three main points for our students. Number one is our location. I mean, first of all, who doesn't want to study in Greece? It's a beautiful place. We were just discussing the weather there, and I can certainly say the weather is much warmer in Athens. But it's a little bit more than that. Our location being in the center of the Mediterranean at a crossroads between Europe, between Asia, the Middle East, North Africa, it really gives students an opportunity to explore not just Athens, not just Greece, but other countries and areas all around. We know that traveling is a part of the study abroad experience, and we like to encourage our students to explore as much as possible while they're studying abroad. So our location really is a wonderful springboard for students who want to explore other locations, other countries, other cultures. The second reason why students tend to choose ACG is really in our name. We are the American College of Greece. We're a US institution, we're US accredited. All of our courses are taught entirely in English. So for students coming from a US institution, the transition really is quite simple. You're already pretty much familiar with how we operate and how our programs run, because it's just like any other US institution. Obviously, you're living in another country, you're living in another culture. There are a lot of Greek aspects to our institution as well, but it's a bit of an easier transition than if you were to go to a regular Greek public university for a study abroad experience, for example. And finally, the big reason why a lot of students choose Greece, and our program in particular, is the affordability factor. Greece has a very low cost of living, certainly much lower than what we see here in the States. And Athens is consistently ranked as having one of the lowest costs of living in all of Europe. So for students who are budget conscientious, for students who are looking for a lot of bang for their buck, so to speak, out of their study abroad experience, Greece is a wonderful option to consider. Just a little bit more information about who we are as an institution. ACG was founded in 1875, so we are almost 150 years old. We are actually the oldest and the largest US accredited college or university in Europe, and we're the largest private educational institution in Greece. The reason I bring this information up is I want study abroad students to recognize that, first of all, this is not our first rodeo. We have been around for quite a long time, educating not just students in Greece, but international students from all over the world. I also bring up that we are US accredited, again, so that you understand that we are a US institution, which really helps in transferring your credits back to your home institution, which we'll talk a little bit further. We'll talk a little bit more about in another slide. Our campus is a 64-acre private gated US-style campus in the northeastern section of the city in a neighborhood called Agia Paraskevi. Don't worry, you will learn how to say that. I learned it too. But I'll talk a little bit more about campus and our neighborhood in a later slide. And I've placed our enrollment profile here for you As you can see, it's the profile from fall 2019. Obviously, with COVID, our enrollments changed slightly this year, but under normal circumstances, we're about 4,200 students total. So we're not a super huge university, but we're also not super small. Student demographics. I think it's really important to understand who you would be studying alongside. As you can see here, our institution has internationalized, diversified throughout the past several years. It's a mission, a goal of the institution to make sure that we're continuing to internationalize our population. And as you can see from the latest data from 2019, we do still have a really healthy population of Greek students studying at ACG. As I mentioned, we are the largest private educational institution in Greece. We're a very well-known institution in Greece, and a lot of Greek students do choose us for their college career. So what that means for you is that you will be studying alongside Greek peers. You're going to have the opportunity to make Greek friends, to meet Greek people. You're not going to be the only American, though. As you can see, about 30% of our population are students coming from the United States, both study abroad and degree-seeking students, as well as an additional 10% coming from other countries from all over the world. So it is a pretty diverse campus community, but you certainly will not be the only American studying abroad at ACG. As far as our facilities go, we are extremely proud of our campus. Again, I know that I'm super biased here, but our campus is spectacular. Every time I step foot on campus, I am super impressed with the quality of our facilities and our campus in general. I've placed some photos here for you so you can get an idea of what some of the spaces on campus look like. We're extremely proud of the John S. Bailey Library, which is one of the jewels of our campus. It's actually the largest private library in the Balkans, so I hope that if you choose our program, that you have the opportunity to use the resources in that building. I do want to bring up our athletic facilities as well. We are actually the official training site for the US Olympic team in Greece. So that means that every time the Olympics returns to Greece, which it does every number of years, the entire US Olympic team is housed in the ACG housing, and they train in our athletic facilities. So our facilities are Olympic quality facilities. They are top-notch. Many of them were built or refurbished for the 2004 Olympic Games that were held in Athens. So for those of you who are interested in athletics, if you play a sport or if you want to play a sport while you're abroad, just know that these facilities are all open and available to you. For students who are interested in the arts, be that visual or performing arts, Greece, as you know, has a long history of the arts, and we have beautiful art spaces on our campus. So I hope that you have the opportunity to take advantage of those spaces as well. A little bit more about our neighborhood. As I mentioned, we're in the northeastern section of the city of Athens. We're about 20 minutes with public transportation to the downtown area, the main touristic center of Athens. So it is an urban environment. You are living in a city. You have everything that you need right there, steps from your front door. There are restaurants and cafes and shops and pharmacies. And public transportation is quite good in Athens. There's a metro station that's easily accessible where you can take the underground subway to get all around the city. There are buses, taxi stands. We're also about 30 minutes from the international airport and about 30 minutes as well to 2 different port cities on either side of the mainland. So if you're interested in taking a ferry to one of the Greek islands over a weekend, or if you plan on having a weekend trip to London or Paris or Rome or another city somewhere else in the world, it is really easy for students to travel and access those forms of transportation from our campus location. I always like to talk a little bit about just Athens and Greece in general and what the country has to offer. I think oftentimes when people think of Greece, they really think of, first of all, the ancient history, and second of all, the beaches and the islands. Which, yes, we do have a wonderfully storied history in Greece, as well as spectacular beaches and islands, but there's so much more to Greece than just those things. Regardless of what it is that you're interested in or what you're studying, I can guarantee you are going to find amazing things to do and to see in Athens and all around Greece. We have wonderful monuments, wonderful museums. countless restaurants, shops, boutiques. A little known fact about Athens is that we actually have more theaters than London's West End Theatre District and Broadway combined. So if you're interested in performances or if you like to go to concerts, there's always a lot of opportunities to get out and about in the city and explore these things. I'm just going to move along to the next slide here. Academics. Okay, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on academics, but I do like to mention our programs because I think it is important for study abroad students to understand their options, their course options. So at ACG, we have 3 main schools, a School of Business and Economics, School of Liberal Arts and Sciences, and the Francis Rich School of Fine and Performing Arts. We are currently offering 35 undergraduate major programs and 50 minor programs. Now, what this means for study abroad students is that we have a very extensive course catalog. There are more than 1,000 academic courses being offered every single year in all of these different fields of study. And I'll go briefly just through the schools. I'm not going to go through every program, but you can just get an idea of what some of our programs are. School of Liberal Arts and Sciences, and the School of Fine and Performing Arts. If you didn't see your specific major listed, do not worry. As I mentioned, our course catalog is extensive. So study abroad students at ACG really have a lot of options in course selection. We understand that, you know, for study abroad students, you have a concern that you want to make sure you're taking courses that are going to transfer back into your program, as well as courses that aren't going to delay your track to graduation. I can guarantee you that at ACG, you are going to find a lot of courses that are going to fit that mold for you. The other thing I like to mention about academics for our students is that we give priority course registration to our study abroad students. So study abroad students are actually able to register for their courses before we open registration to our degree-seeking students at ACG. And that just ensures that if you have a specific course that you need to take while you're studying abroad, that you're not going to have any issues getting into that course and fulfilling the requirements you need to fulfill. Our faculty are just as diverse as our student body. They're coming to us from all over the world. We have many Greek faculty from the United States, as well as faculty members from other countries. We are extremely proud of them. They are specialists in their fields. 82% of them hold PhDs. And many of them are not just academics, they're really active working professionals in their field. They're conducting research, they're participating in conferences, they're publishing. We really want you to think of the faculty at ACG, not just as your professor, but really as mentors. And we hope that when you're studying with us that you'll take full advantage of getting to know our faculty and working with them. One of the beauties of us being an American institution is that we have all of the same student life activities that you would expect from any other school here in the United States. So we have a lot of clubs, academic societies, organizations on campus. There's always events or festivals that are happening on campus. And we expect our study abroad students to become active members of our campus community. So all of these programs and events are open and available to you as study abroad students. And we really, really hope that while you're with us, you'll take advantage of that and get involved in our community. We have a wonderful International Student Services office that really becomes the one-stop shop for everything that's non-academic at ACG. This office, alongside my office, are really your main support systems while you're studying with us. The ISS office is there for anything and everything you need, and I literally mean anything. We even had a student this past weekend who celebrated a birthday, and her mom wanted to make sure that she received a birthday cake and flowers. So the ISS office organized all of this for her, made sure it was delivered to her front door on a Sunday. They really are there to make sure that you have the best possible experience. So anything from planning or organizing a trip, either in Greece or somewhere else, figuring out how to send or receive a package, you have issues with your cell phone, they are there to help you with everything. So you have a lot of support during your program at ACG. We don't just throw you to the wolves, so to speak. You really do have a team that's there to make sure that your program goes smoothly and that you're having the best possible experience while you're with us. Housing is obviously a very important topic. Students always want to know where they're living. So housing at ACG is not typical dorm style housing that you'll see in a lot of schools here in the US. What we offer instead is apartment style housing. We have 4 residence buildings that are owned and operated by the university that are located in the neighborhood around campus. So they're not physically within that 64-acre campus gate, but they're very, very close to campus. The furthest building is about a 15-minute walk to campus. And they're full service buildings. So they have everything you need. There's 24-hour security. You do need an ID card to swipe in, not just to the residence buildings, but also onto campus. There are residence assistants, RAs, and residence life staff that are living or have office space within the residence buildings. So if you need something anytime, day or night, there's always someone there for you. There's free laundry facilities, a gym area in the R1 residence building. And the apartments, I have to say, again, I know I'm a little bit biased, but they really are spectacular. Every time I see the student apartments, I am always a little bit jealous because they're even nicer than my apartment. And for those of you who are lucky enough to get an apartment on a higher floor, you have spectacular views of the city of Athens, as you can see from the photo on the top left-hand corner there. Dining at ACG. We do have some optional meal plans available for students. There are 3 dining establishments on campus. We have our main dining hall, which is similar to any other cafeteria or dining hall at any other US college or university. We also have a cafe located on the opposite side of campus for grab-and-go snacks or a quick coffee on your way to class, and a wonderful Starbucks on campus as well, which is a really fun hangout meeting space for our students. It has a really nice outdoor seating area, so a great place to sit when the weather's nice and do some homework. As I mentioned before, the neighborhood is an urban environment, so there are lots of eating establishments, restaurants, and cafes just outside of the front door. I've put a couple of my favorite places to eat here for you, so if you do choose ACG, I hope that you get the chance to try some of them, if not all of them. Athletics, I'm not going to get into a lot of detail. I've already mentioned that we have wonderful athletic facilities. You can see in photo some of them here. These are our programs listed, and just know that if you're interested in playing a sport, that these are available to you while you're studying with us. There are several excursions that are included in our program. These do not cost extra. It's a part of our study abroad experience. So for students who are coming to us in a fall or a spring semester, you have a guided tour of downtown Athens as part of your orientation program, as well as 3 additional excursions throughout the semester. For students who come in a summer session, there's 1 excursion included. So I can't guarantee exactly what the excursions will be because they do change from semester to semester, but I've listed some of the more common excursions that we take students on here, as well as some photos of these locations. I've personally been to every single one of these locations with the students, and I can tell you that they are all spectacular. So that's something to look forward to as part of your experience. You'll get to see a little bit more of Greece, not just Athens. We do have an excellent health and wellness center on campus. And I really want to emphasize this year, especially with everything that's been going on with the pandemic. We all know how important it is to stay healthy. So we have wonderful staff there on campus, including nurses that are available to meet with you. If you have a medical emergency or need to see a doctor or a specialist for any reason while you're abroad with us, we will facilitate that process for you. We take you to the doctors, we translate for you if necessary, although most of the doctors we work with are English speaking. Hopefully this will not be something that you ever need to use while you're with us, but just know that those services are available just in case. There's also an excellent counseling center on campus that has sessions available to students free of charge. So if you're having a little bit of culture shock or just feeling a little lonely, feel like you need to chat with somebody, that service is available to you as well. And finally, the Health and Wellness Center organizes all types of activities and events throughout the semester. Things like meditation, yoga sessions, cooking lessons. So you have access to all of these events as well, and we do hope that you take advantage of those. Safety and security. I'm not going to say much here. Athens and Greece are extremely safe destinations. There's not really much that you have to worry about in terms of safety and security. I can tell you that our neighborhood is one of the more affluent neighborhoods of Athens. It's a really safe, wonderful area to be in. The one thing that we do mention to students is keep in mind that you are in a big city. You are in a world capital. So we just ask that you exercise the same caution that you would use here in the US in any other big city. Be mindful of your belongings, especially when you're on public transportation or in large touristic areas. But aside from that, there's not too much to worry about in terms of safety in Greece. And finally, arrival and orientation. There is airport pickup available for students upon arrival. We pick you up from the airport and take you directly to the residence to move in. And during those first couple days with us in Greece, you have a full orientation program. So you're going to have tours of campus, tours of the neighborhood that you're living in. I've already mentioned the downtown tour of Athens. You're also going to have several sessions on things such as academics, safety, security. All of our events and clubs and organizations will be there and host different events throughout the orientation process. So again, you will not be thrown to the wolves. We want to make sure that you have everything you need to be successful before your classes start with us. And finally, the visa process. For those of you who are not EU citizens, if you're studying with us during a fall or spring semester, just keep in mind that you will require a visa to study with us. It's not a big deal. It's not a difficult process. It's something that we assist you with every step of the way. We walk you through it. Just keep in mind that that is a part of the process. And I think that is it from me. So we can open it up to questions now.
I will stop the recording as well, and then we'll do some questions.
Thank you.